Hi everyone, this is Gator and or Airhead, depending on where you know me from, and this is episode 8 of Gagatalk. To be honest, I think the last episode was a complete mess, and I pinned that partially on me being a mess at the time. And I've gotten my act together a little bit, but my life is still a little bumpy right now. I'll dig into that a little later. But I do want to start the episode off with some very possibly relatable things, relatable things that I might share with some of y'all, some situations. Um, so I was cleaning my room earlier, or it begins with me watching reels. I was on my phone watching reels in bed, and I came across a reel so stupid. I was like, dude, what am I doing with my life? And the reel was so dumb, I literally stood up and just started cleaning my room. My room's usually clean. I started like vacuuming. I started like folding clothes that I just stuffed into my drawers. I started doing like meaningless tasks. But the thing that I think is relatable about it, possibly, is I left the reel on. I literally put my phone down. I didn't turn it off, but I just left the reel on. And I locked in so hard that the reel was just replaying in the background for like 10 minutes. And I just kept hearing the sound over and over again. And, eventually I was just like, well, wait a minute. And the reel was just there. It was in the background. I don't know. And damn, I was that locked in. I don't know if that's relatable, but that was an experience I had. And I think I might share that with some other people. Another little experience is that whenever I'm eating Lucky Charms, right, and I see those marshmallows, and okay, what am I saying right now? Whenever I'm eating Lucky Charms and I'm pouring it into the bowl, I always pour it, and right when I think the bowl is finished, I always see like extra marshmallows just sitting in the bag, and I'm like, ooh, if I poured a little bit more, I'd get some marshmallows, and I just keep pouring it in. I don't know why. I love Lucky Charms. I'm a big Lucky Charm guy. Something that's relatable that I hate. I hate, and I know that if you play Valorant, you know what I'm talking about. Whenever literally everyone in the lobby has selected their guy, the person they're gonna play as, and there's always that one guy that just waits till the last minute to select their character, and it just ticks down the timer. And I'm already wasting my time by playing Valorant. But just speed up the process, bro. Let me lose the game and hop off. You don't need to delay it by waiting 60 seconds to finally lock in your character. It pisses me off. It pisses me off. All right, now that that's over, let's start the actual talk about stuff. Takapi's original sin. Finished that recently, and I recorded an episode of Gagatalk about 2 weeks ago, and I was actually broken as a person. I was not in the right mental state during that episode, but I did talk about Taco Piece, which is partially why some of these episodes have been delayed. I've been going through it recently. I've been more focused on life than my podcast. And I think it's going to continue that way, or continue to get worse. Gaga Talk might not be weekly anymore. And that sucks to say. But, I gotta start lifing. I got a job. I've got school coming up. I've got a social life to keep up with, So, podcast might be last priority. But, that doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. So, expect less Gaga Talk. I'm going to try and make these episodes longer. I do have a lot to talk about today. But, yeah. Back to Taco Piece. It's a masterpiece. I'm speechless. I don't know how to describe Taco Piece. It came out of nowhere. It's 6 episodes long. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. I'll just say when I'm going to start talking about spoilers, but expect there to be some spoilers spoken about. It's a 10 out of 10 across the board every single episode. It changed my life. watching. It changed the way I view other people and their problems. Whenever I'm feuding with someone, it taught me to, sit back and look from their perspective. Spoiler time, Shizuka, the main character, is going through all these problems. And, Marina, one of the other main characters, is going through all these problems too. But Marina's problems are caused by Shizuka, and Shizuka's problems are caused by Marina. And Marina doesn't, or they don't realize. But it's strange that they're all in the same, okay. I'm so bad at explaining things, bro. Moral of the story is that everyone's in the same boat, right? Everyone's in the same boat. All their problems are connected. You might as well get along. And it's so, the way it portrays their lives is so gut-wrenching, and it's so vividly real, because watching it, that yeah, some people's lives are actually like this, dude. And it's heartbreaking to watch, but I think that's what makes it so powerful. The ending was a 10 out of 10. I don't think it could have ended any other way, thinking about it. I think it got a point across, and it did an amazing job at doing that. I would personally put Taco Piece in my top 5 of all time. Of all time. I'm not even trying to be like riding the bandwagon of it. I'm not even trying to like ride the hype of it. But I would say every single second of that show is more important, or not more important. It's just important. It's necessary. Every single second of that show was used to convey the themes perfectly, and not many shows can do that. And I think that the fact that it got such a powerful story out in the span of 6 episodes, and the fact that it did such a spectacular job of just doing what it was doing, it's unmatched. If you haven't seen Takopi's Original Sin, I really suggest you do it. You watch it. You just sit back, treat it like a movie. It's gonna take you like 2 hours and 30 minutes, I think, for the total runtime. Those are gonna be the best spent 2 hours and 30 minutes. I don't even know what to say. You are going to appreciate it if you watch it. Even if you don't like anime, I would suggest you just sit back and watch it. It teaches you a lot. It teaches you a lot. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Please go watch Takopi's Original Sin. I cannot emphasize how important it is to watch that show. So, to dive deeper into my own personal problems, here, let me begin with this. I tell people I do a podcast, and they look at me like I'm insane. And I don't really blame them, because, doing a podcast is kind of cringe, But it's, for me, I'm not going to throw, a little pity party, but I don't really have many people in my life that I can talk to my problems about and not feel like I'm insane talking to them. I have my dad. I love my dad. I'll talk to him about all my problems besides, a couple. But those couple of problems, I can't share with anyone, right? I feel like I have all these close friends in my life. I feel like if I tell them all my personal problems, I'm going to drive them away. So I have to keep them to myself, and it kind of sucks. I use my podcast to talk about those problems. I don't touch on them entirely, but I touch on them to the point where it's I don't come off as crazy. And I think that's important to me. This is a way to vent, a way to vent. How do I say this? Recently, I've been feeling like I'm always in second place whenever it comes to my love life. And, and I get that's a personal problem. If I was a better person or a more lovable person, I would obviously be in first place. But the part that's getting to me is that these 2 years that have passed since high school I've pretty much just spent them improving myself as a person. I feel like I'm a lot more intelligent. I feel like I'm a lot wiser than I was when I graduated high school. I've made a lot of decisions to put me on the right track in life. And I feel like I've just improved as a person overall, across all parts of the board. So, when I've started taking like love more serious, right? Because in the end, I am turning 20 next month, and I get that's very young, but I also feel like that's kind of old, and I spent a large majority of my life just messing around and getting into relationships that weren't very necessary, just for the sake of being in a relationship, and that was very unhealthy for me. It was very unhealthy for my partners, and personally, I'm sorry to anyone that had to suffer me. But recently I've been wanting to take being in a relationship a lot more serious, and it's it's gotten to the point where I've like gotten so close to actually being in a happy relationship, and then like from my angle being in a happy relationship, and then the person I'm talking to just changes their mind, or there's just someone else that's better, and it's like it's messing with me, because it's like, what am I doing wrong? Because I feel like I'm doing everything right sometimes, and whenever I do feel like I don't even know, I just feel like I'm unable to be loved, man, romantically. Because I'm always the one who's like, this sounds so pity party. I'm sorry. I'm always the one who's like hanging around a bunch of people, and I'm seeing all these people around me, get love, bro. And it's like, how are these people finding love so efficiently, and then I'm over here thinking that I'm the cream of the crop, not receiving it. It's hard, man, and it's messing with me. It's messing with my head. I'm getting in my head. I'm getting depressed over meaningless things, because yeah, again, I'm still young, but I do feel like I want to find that person that I can share my problems with, that I can get shit off my chest talking to, and be with, romantically. It's hard, man. It's hard. I'm going through it. But I feel like I'm always in second place. I feel like there's always someone ahead of me getting what I want, doing less than what I'm doing. And it sucks. It really does suck. I've gotten so close so many times, to like getting what I feel like I should have. But right when it's in the palm of my hands, it just gets snatched away. And yeah, it sucks, but it's whatever. It's really whatever. So something has actually been helping me get through this very confusing time, and that's music. If you guys don't know me in person, I do go to school for music, not like music in general, but like music practices, music industry practices, so like managing people, working at venues and stuff. But I've always, my entire life, I have devoted to music, to listening to it, to learning more about it, to making it. I think music, personally, is the most important thing ever. Without music, there is no life. Music is the essence of life. And, it got to a point where I was like, yeah, I understand how important this is, wholeheartedly. This past month, I didn't think I could appreciate music any more than I was appreciating it until this past month. I found a love for music, and I didn't think I could love music anymore. But it taught, like, music has been getting me through this month. I haven't had anyone to get me through this month, so the second best thing is music. I'll say right now, I have my biggest fear ever. I have plenty of big fears. My biggest fear ever is going deaf. And that sounds very strange. I have a deaf mom, but it's very strange to say my biggest fear is going deaf, because I know sign language. My mom's living just fine. But like, I'm scared of what would happen to me if I didn't have music. I'm scared of not what I would do to myself. Well, partially what I would do to myself, but I would not. I don't know what would happen to me if I didn't have music in my life. And I know for a fact that it would be bad. Yeah, I've discovered quite a bit of musicians actually over the past month. I like Jordy Creep. Jordy Creep. I think he's the lead singer of Black Midi. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, but he has this song called Holy Holy, and it's 6 minutes long, and it's as of late, it's felt like the most magical song ever. I've listened to it over and over again, and I can't get enough of it. The way he talks about, you know, the male fantasy of just being the big guy in town, and just not fantasy, but like how there's some people who feel like that, and I felt like that at some points in my life, like very narcissistic and evil to say that, but it's true. And you know that listening to that, it makes you sit back and realize how much of a dunce you are. But Holy Holy by Jordy Creep is just like that's a powerful song, bro. And he's so musically talented. It's like it's nuts. Sitting back and just listening to that song, it's nuts. It's really nuts. It's a nuts song. Another musician I've been listening to a lot is my friend Sam Abbott, Mr. Abbott himself. Probably my best friend, one of my best friends. He has a lot of music. Okay, let me describe Sam. Sam is one of the best musicians I know. Like that are in my life. Maybe the best musician I know, other than like Matthew or Gray, you know, or Mr. Paul Peppers. But Sam is so talented, and he has so much music just not out, and he doesn't put it out. So I literally went over to his house, and I was like, hey Sam, I'm gonna release these, I'll do everything for you. And he was like, oh yeah, sure. He did some covers of some Chet Baker songs. I don't know if they're Chet Baker songs. I know Chet Baker covers a lot of songs, but you know, he covered them from Chet Baker. And it's so refreshing having that out, knowing that it's out and that people can listen to it. And he did such a good job making the covers. And I think if y'all like Chet Baker, if y'all like jazz, if y'all like the blues, go listen to some jazz tracks by Mr. Abbott. 6 minutes to listen to all three of them, and I think those 6 minutes will be very well spent. Try it out. Go listen. You know, it's nice. It's calm, and he did such a good job. Been playing a lot of Minecraft recently. Me and my gaming team Pog and Co. and my friend group, like from real life, started a very large Minecraft server, and we're all living on one really big island. And you know, I've been really enjoying it. You know, I feel like Minecraft has, you know, it's that itch, you know, that yearly itch to play Minecraft for a week. But I feel like this is at the perfect time in my life to be doing it, right? Just to step back and, you know, relax. Yeah, relax. Just get me through the week. Get me through like the day. Play some Minecraft, man. Listen to Jordy Creep and Sam Abbott and play Minecraft. I don't know, I've just been that has been helping me a lot. And I think Minecraft is such a simple game. And if you've never played Minecraft before, I would really suggest you do. And I think the thing that makes Minecraft so good in my eyes is that there's no real objective. I get the main objective is go beat the Ender Dragon, but like after that, what do you do? There's so much more to the game than beating the Ender Dragon, but there's no real objective. And I think that's what makes it so special to me. Because in like Terraria, Minecraft and Terraria get compared all the time. Terraria, there is an end goal. You go beat the pillars and then beat the Moon Lord, right? beat all the extra bosses. Once you've beaten all those bosses, what do? You go beat the butterfly lady during the daytime. After that, what do? Minecraft you can keep playing forever, and I think that's it's important. I don't know. I think that's what makes it so relaxing. So relaxing. I've been playing this game on Roblox called Build an Island, and it's literally just you get resources and then use resources to craft resources to like keep expanding your island. And that's also been very calming. It's Roblox slop. I'll say it. It's just a slop game, but I've found enjoyment in it. It's very relaxing, just seeing the numbers go up and then seeing my island actually grow. And then I'll occasionally see someone with a bigger island than me and be like, oh, that's what my island's gonna look like eventually. Because it's like a set path. Like all the islands are the same, but it's like I'll get there one day. And what I like about it is they keep expanding it. They keep updating it. It's like I think it's like a weekly update, but each part takes a week, so it's like it's infinite. I could go on forever playing this. I went to Myth nightclub in Jacksonville recently, and it's right next to Decca. They have like a stripper pole or for like dancing, and as the night went on, I just started dancing on the stripper pole, and I wasn't like stripping, but like I was just spinning around on it, and it was so fun having everyone just cheer for me. I think every club should have a public pole to dance on. I think that's funny, and it like all the guys started dancing on it, and it was so fun. It was so fun. I think every club in Florida needs a pole to dance on, and I will advocate for that. If your club doesn't have a pole, go get one. It's fun. It's fun. You just gotta make sure no drunk people end up spinning and kicking someone in the head. That would be very unfortunate. But yeah, I have a lot of things planned for the future. I'm gonna be a very busy boy, and I got into it earlier, but I'm not gonna be able to record many Gagatalks, which is sad to say, but I'm gonna try and make them as long as I can, and as high quality as I can. I do feel like this episode I haven't really done a good job talking, but at the same time I feel like this is probably gonna be my longest episode. So, that's also a little bonus. I feel like I need to go out and get more stuff to talk about. And yeah. So, over this next month, I'm going to have a lot of stuff to talk about, so expect a very packed episode coming up next. I want to make episode 10 very special. Because, hell yeah. But I think there's I think Freddie Gibbs. I might be so wrong. But he's like, I don't advocate for it, but he's like, God made me sell crack, so I had something to rap about. I'm going through all this toil and trouble. I don't even know if I used that right. So I have something to write music about. Going through all this really bad stuff right now, and I wouldn't even say it's really bad. I'm picking the fruits of my own labor. But in the end, I have something to write music about, and I think that's really nice to say. Because in the end, I'll always have something. It's a cycle. But yeah, go listen to Sam's music. Go listen to Jordy Creep. Go watch Takapi's Original Sin. I think that's it for this episode of Gagatalk. I hope y'all have an amazing day. Follow, share, like, subscribe, do a cartwheel. Y'all have a good one. Peace out, y'all.